Hey, what's happening, people of the interwebs? It's Pete with BackDraft Bikes. I've got a product review coming at you, and it's another crazy gadget that I didn't know I needed, but I got. I have been reviewing a lot of different GPS type screens. You've seen a few of them on my channel here. They work pretty well most of the time. Do you remember that thing they called the Google glasses? Remember that? And it was all the rage, and it seems like it just died out. I thought, boy, wouldn't it be cool to have like a item like that for motorcycling where you don't even have to take your eyes off the road. I was contacted by a company called MotoEye, and MotoEye makes this product that is a heads-up display, HUD. So I said, you know what? I'll give it a try. This company sets the bar pretty high on this. They say that this thing works in any type of helmet you could have, and it has a very wide field of range. It doesn't have to be directly in front of your eyeball, which obviously would be dangerous. Uses the mesh intercom system, which a lot of headsets use. It has voice control. It does Apple CarPlay, which is like the big one for me, and a bunch of other things. In fact, it'll even hook up a camera, like a dash cam situation if you wanted to. So that's very interesting to me as well. So I'm gonna open this up and see what it's all about. Just as a heads up on this too, disclaimer, anything that I'm telling you to do is just for your entertainment only. If you decide to do this on your own, that's on you. I'm not sure about the safety of having this device in yet because I haven't installed it yet. So I have no idea, but I wanna check it out. I think it's something neat, it's something interesting, and why not give it a shot? Down the edge of the box and into the meat of the hand. All right, here we go. So pretty well boxed. All right, we've got this like droid looking thing, which is I believe like the brains of it, and then the actual heads up unit. So here's what it looks like. Here's the brains. And I can tell from this, just from my experience with headset installation, that this is kind of what they're going after. We have a little bezel thing that fits on here, and it looks like there's LED lights behind it, which I really hope it doesn't light up when you're driving down the road. That would be so dumb. And there's a power button on the bottom. It looks like it's using the old USB style charger. USB-C is kind of what everybody's using nowadays, right? Oh, I stand corrected. It has a USB-C in it as well. This piece here must pop off somehow. There it is. Okay, so that's your brain. This mounts onto the back of the helmet. We've got this thing right here, which is like the actual unit, and it's got a little wire, and they package it up really nice for shipping. All right, this is the Bluetooth controller device. Doesn't even feel like there's anything in here. Okay. So it's a wireless, oh, because it's heads up and you're not touching a screen, you've got to have some way to do something. So, all right, I've got it. And then this is the headset accessories side. Whoa. Looks like there's a bunch of different things. That's your standard setup for your headset. It's your standard comm set for a motorcycle. You've got your two speakers, but this has a boom microphone, which is fine if you've got like a half-faced helmet. But if you're running a regular helmet, I mean, the industry standard is like one of those flat little mics that sticks in. So this is different. I'm really interested in the heads-up side of it, so. Instructions. So I'm not going to go through installing this on the video. It'd be 20 minutes long, but basically what it says here, you're going to mount the controller on the back of the helmet. You're going to mount this device up in the inside edge of your helmet, above in line with your eye, but above it, and then connect everything together and then power it on, and then you can fine tune the display. Kind of the same thing coming from this. You've got your, so now I understand why they did the different things, but There's also a plug-in for the headset. The old style USB connector, actually this plugs in to the back of this thing. Pretty snug watertight connector too. And then this plugs into your headset right there. So that's your 1/4 inch headphone jack. And then this piece goes up in the helmet. And this is the screen. That's the screen. So that's gonna go like up in here. Huh, interesting. All right, I'm gonna get it mounted and see what this looks like. I'll be back with you in a second. All right, so I know I look like a mushroom head with my modular helmet flipped up, but I wanted to kind of show you what the device looks like. Right about there, it allows me to see just by looking up the prism. And it's not totally in the way of your regular vision. So like I can put it up here and it's got this like little boom connector thing on it. Allows you to move it around. So you can see like that. I actually can see straight forward. And if I want to see further into the lens, I just have to rotate it down just a little bit like that. So actually I can see the screen with my right eye just by looking up, and the resolution's pretty good. I'm gonna try to take this off and I'm gonna try to see if I can show you with a camera what it looks like. So I'm not sure if you can see this, but I fired up Apple CarPlay and the screen is actually pretty good in this. You can see fairly high resolution for such a small screen. And because it's really close to where your eye is, it allows you to be able to kind of just glance up. So if you're looking at it straight forward and you turn your eye upwards, so if your eye's like right here, you just look up like this, you can see the screen pretty well. And installed in the helmet, this little thing is like a magnet. It actually just clips right in, and that piece goes in your helmet. So that's pretty slick. Let me show you something on this though, just so you can kind of see. So if you're using the heads-up display, you're limited to using this controller because you can't tap on a screen, right? You can't tap on a screen. So with this being said, you have to kind of scroll through different things. And CarPlay allows you to do that. Like you can change and do things, and then the back button, yeah, see that doesn't, yes it does, there it goes. So you can scroll through things and actually see and select your music and everything else. Sorry, I'm moving this around so much. It's not bad. It is not bad at all. And there's a dedicated photo button. What does that do? And that brings up, oh, that brings up the back of the camera here. Let me just set this down. So this, by pushing the photo button, that's gonna bring you back to this thing. But basically this piece will go on the back of your helmet, and this is what this is doing, is this is watching the back of you like a dash cam almost. I can see where this could be something good for a bike rider though, because you don't have a screen on your bike and you're looking straight through. This is up above your eye and it's very adjustable. You can go down, you can go up, it rotates, so you could rotate it around. The mounting pad for this is super easy. Just find a spot somewhere in the rim of the helmet and put it up in there. There's a few extensions you can put on it as well. The extensions work pretty well, but it's a very simple concept. All it is a little prism. This is probably one of the most challenging filming videos I've ever had to do, just because of the aspect of how close this has to be and in the helmet. I just wanted to take a look at something. If I have, let's say I have my phone on my handlebars like I do, and I pull up an app and I pull up Waze. Okay, it looks promising. On the app that's on the phone, it does allow you to use your phone as a controller itself. That's just a little pop-up thing that goes on the side. As far as the HUD goes, let's see if there's any other options on this. So this little controller kind of floats on all the screens if you have the app open, which is cool. That would mean your phone's gonna have to stay on as well, but that's not bad. Your intercom system, it's got a setup here. I'm not sure how well this plays with others, but everything is on here. It seems to be an update. HUD settings, there's a whole host of settings on this that allow you to set all types of things. So it's pretty good. The concept is pretty good. Most of this is translated obviously from Chinese because it's made in China. So some of the things don't quite make sense the way that it's translated to English, but it's not bad. It's not bad. I think they did a better job than other manufacturers I've seen. Let's go back into the helmet. All right, I've got it installed all the way on my helmet. I mounted everything up. This is really where the eyepiece wants to be as relation to my eye and being able to see vision-wise. If I have this down a little bit further, it actually allows me to see straight into the display without even having to look up, but then that's a huge safety hazard, right? So just like this, just in line with my eye this way, I can look up and look at it and see everything, and then look down and I can still see. Now, again, as I mentioned before, it's kind of like the macro focusing feature. So I'll just demonstrate that really quickly. If you have a camera in front of you and you go to put something closer to it, the camera will try to focus or not focus on that item. So right now that's not focusing on it. So you see how I'm focusing on my knife? I can see the knife very well. I can see the details on it. It's pretty good. But as soon as I take that off, the camera is going to focus back on me. And the human eye works very similar. The human eye is going to lock into something that's closer to it, and then once it's pulled back, the big picture comes back into focus. What's the issue with that with motorcycle riding? You know, again, I won't say this is a negative. This is just something that you have to understand is actually going to happen. For me to be able to look up at this screen, I have to focus on something that's very close to my eye. And because both of our eyes are locked together, unless you're some freak of nature, you're not going to be able to just move one eye up. Maybe you can, I don't know, maybe you are a freak of nature. And I tip my hat in your general direction if that's the case. With this being the case, having this down, it's not an obstruction to my view, but when I want to look at it, I do have to focus on that just for a second. That's what I'm trying to say. How does this actually work in the real world? I want to take this for a ride. I will come back and tell you. I was gonna film it as I was riding, but you're not gonna be able to see this on the camera. And the other thing about that is that I really want to focus on how this works as I'm riding with turn-by-turn directions. So I'll be right back. And we're back just like that, a magic of technology. All right, so here is what I found. This is kind of surprising actually. It's not as distracting as I thought it was going to be. In fact, once you start driving, it's really not even noticeable. It seems like it's noticeable because when I put it on here, I was like, oh, I got this thing above my eye and I'm going to see it. But actually, when you're driving around, it kind of reminds me of a visor that you'd have on a regular helmet anyways. So it's not distracting, not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. As far as the look up and look at the macro thing and focus, it is there. That is something that you have to contend with, but it's not as bad as you would think. In fact, once you start moving down the road, it actually seems to get pretty linear. You can look up really quickly as you're driving, just like this. You know, I found myself going like this, driving, look up, okay. What would this be good for? I think this would be excellent for GPSing, using GPS, because the turn-by-turn directions, they're right there, they're right in front of you. I would not try to read a text message on this thing. I would not try to decipher information on it. I would literally use your phone to set your directions and use this as the display for that. That's all I would use it for. I would not go into detail on trying to read something on this because it's dangerous to do that on a motorcycle. Now, as far as my technology setup on my bike as we go right now, let me just flip the camera around. This is my GS, which you see in a lot of my videos, and I've been demoing all types of different screens. Right now, I have the Garmin Nuvi on there still, but I have a shockproof phone mount here in which I've been using my phone for places that I have cell service, and I'll use the GPS, and you know, I've talked about that on my other videos. The Garmin is an excellent choice, but it's limited on what it can do, because it's a GPS. Your phone gives you a lot more capability because of the fact that you can use Waze, you can use anything that's connected to the internet, but the downside to that is you have to have service. So this This heads-up display on my helmet actually does a little bit of a bonus. This will allow you to keep your phone in your pants. You can keep it right in there. You can keep it protected, maybe even in your jacket, so the wind and the water aren't getting to it. And then this display is nicely tucked up in your helmet. Here's my concluding thoughts on this. Is this thing for everybody? Probably not. However, it's pretty cool. Is it that expensive? No. In fact, I'll put a link down in the description to my Amazon store where you save a couple bucks and help the channel out. It's pretty robust and well built. It's got a built-in dash camera, which is something none of the other headsets have. And the concept is there. Will it be refined in the future? Who knows? But they're already pushing updates out to it, so I'm sure that that's a positive thing as well. Well, I hope you enjoyed my video and my ramblings about technology. If you did, please, again, throw something down in the comment section and hit the subscribe button. It means the world to us. As always, friends, ride safe.